Okay, Anna. Now that you're in the Faculty of Law, how do you feel being there? Can you make any comparisons between the study of law and the application of law in Manila and in the US, because you've been to Harvard and now you're here in Toronto?
Okay, I would just qualify my answer to say that, as I mentioned earlier, I've only been here for 40 days, and so I've been teaching only for about a month right now. So my point of view, insofar as Toronto is concerned, is limited to the experience in that very short period of time. I would say that the other qualification is that I'm here as a professor and I was at Harvard as a student. So there is, I think there is a bit of a difference in that changing of roles. But I would say that it's probably the experience of being a student at Harvard is closer to teaching here than being a student in Manila, specifically in Ateneo Law School. So in the Philippines, as many of the lawyers here, or lawyers in the US, Filipino lawyers in the US would say, so the emphasis in Philippine law schools is mostly on how to pass the bar exam. And for that to happen, then there's a lot of memorization. We memorize probably the entire civil code by the time we get to the bar exam, or the criminal code. And that's not really the case in the US or here in Canada. At least how I do my teaching here is patterned after what I learned at Harvard, which is to say that we basically look at the cases and we go paragraph by paragraph in each of these cases and try to figure out what the Supreme Court justices are thinking when they were writing those paragraphs in these decisions. So we do a very close reading of these cases. Whereas in the Philippines, if we talk about cases, it's mostly about what is the doctrine. And in one class, one hour class in the Philippines, you can probably go through maybe 25 cases. And then everybody would say, like, okay, what is this case all about? And everybody would know the facts, everybody would know the doctrine. But here, at least in the US and Canada, maybe because of the differences between the common law here in North America, as opposed to the hybrid system in the Philippines, there's more emphasis on the decisions of the courts. And so that's the biggest difference that I would say. I think the Philippine system has a lot of room for improvement, but I think also because of the way that the legal system is structured, then it's not just a matter of copying how it's being done here in Canada or in the US. So you have to change the focus on the bar exam. You have to change like how certain laws are structured. So I wouldn't say that they should just copy what's being done here. But at the same time, I think there are also like a lot of limitations to the way law is being studied or practiced here. But I do a lot of research on comparative constitutional law. I think those problems are not particular to the Philippines. But a lot of these problems, in fact, are shared in many jurisdictions around the world.